Hi, good morning. It's me, Nana V. I'm going to do my best to briefly update my YouTube channel um, as best I can right now. It's really difficult. Overall, I'm trying to make sure I got some good lighting here. Me and baby, yeah, we got a good spot right here. Natural light, I think it's pretty good. Um, I'm looking cross-eyed. I'm sorry. Take my glasses off. Baby and I have been out already for a morning walk while it's nice and cool. Well, it's getting hot already, but it was nice and cool. And I didn't get out super early like I really wish I had so I could throw scraps out for the deer and all that. I got out too late to do that. After 8 a.m., it's starting to get hot, and the deer have already kind of like gone somewhere to find shade, I think. Um, some of you already know I actually live in Kerrville, Texas, and our area and near outlying areas were devastatedly, catastrophically hit with flooding from our Guadalupe River, uh, July 4th, July 5th. It was like after 3, 4 a.m. So it hit most dramatically when most people were asleep, and most victims, or large number of victims from Hunt area, were washed away basically in their sleep. The Mystic camp, girls camp, is in Hunt about, I can't remember, between 10 miles and 15 miles maybe from where I'm at right now in the Kerrville area. So I'm in Kerrville between Ingram and Hunt, going west, and between Center Point, I guess, going east. I'm 10 miles from Center Point, Texas, which was devastated also. Again, some of you already know that I have had an ongoing, what became a chronic DIY project that I'd been working on since I started about 21, 22. I had a 40-foot used shipping container I was working on, trying to turn it into a tiny home. And it's like, I got it like 90% complete. It started getting water damage, and I ran out of time. I ran out of money. I had been paying $450 a month lot rent for where it was situated at a property, like an hookup for RVs, campers, and whatnot. It's not on wheels. It's a 40-foot used shipping container, but it was hooked up for water and sewage and power, and a really good spot. The landlord out there owns, I don't know how many acres, 20 acres or more. I don't know. But he has part of his acres, like 7 acres of his property is income property. And I guess the other acreage is for him and his family, residential property. So it's a combination residential, family ownership, business. They're an LLC rental property. And long story short, I was hoping to try to see if I could sell it, then rent it out. Donate it, because he told me I would not be able to move in like I was hoping to and live in it while working around it. He said no, that would not work. I need to get it off his property. He had plans to put family in that lot, and I wasn't able to get it off the property and sell it and do all that and donate it was the next thinking. I was hoping to donate it, especially to Habitat for Humanity. They liked it. They wanted to take it, but unfortunately, the work site they wanted to put it on is in city limits of Kerrville, and it wouldn't be allowed to stay there that long. It's out of zoning It was not approvable. So, long story short, I was able to eventually work out an agreement to give the container to the landlord. He gave me a stipend, a nice small stipend. He's going to finish what I couldn't finish what I started, and improve upon it, hopefully, because it started getting water damage coming in. It's hard to explain, but anyway, so he would need to take out insulation, redo insulation, maybe redo some floors. I don't know, windows, doors. I'm not sure, but some major work that, again, I didn't have money to do. And he's going to be able to move family and or designated renter in that spot. The $450 a month or whatever I was paying, they'll be paying that, or less or more. I don't know how they're going to work that out, but it will work out good because the family and or other renter, they may be roommates, both have special needs, and the landlord will be able to make sure, because he's moved to the lot space almost right next to that area. He moved from the big house, which was actually another address next door. I think he moved other family into the big house. And so he and his wife are downsizing. They're almost empty nesters now. All their kids are about grown. And he'll be able to keep an eye on the two renters who have special needs. I think that's kind of like a donation ministry idea, kind of like I was hoping to donate Dolly, is what I call the container. I named her Dolly, and I was hoping to at least donate it to someone who would be blessed, and it'd be like a ministry. I was ready to just donate it as a gift in kind, kind of thing, and this worked out equally well, I think, because it's going to be a blessing to someone who has special needs, and to make sure and ensure they have a safe place and supervision right there on site, on property, to make sure they're okay and well taken care of. So I'm feeling happy about that. Now, in the meantime, I finalized that in June, the first part of June, end of May. I forget the exact deadlines. But then on June 25th, my ex-husband, who I've continued to help on an ongoing basis, even though we divorced, I still help him. He actually hired me to work 10 hours a month for $25 an hour as another caregiver. He has a caregiver that his insurance pays hourly, but they only allow her to work 8 hours a month. And so he needs more help. I help with fill in, shopping, taking to appointments, all that. Plus, he was helping me, inviting me to bring things over for storage that I could not put in the storage we still have. Didn't have room. Like a big 10-foot umbrella, beautiful umbrella for your patio, a brand new hammock chair that I still had in the package. And anyway, I had no room to put these items. He invited me to put them in the backyard because he's been in the apartment I left. We both moved into like a triplex, and they're all on the ground. It's a building with 3 apartments, boom, 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 side by side. And then some buildings over there, that complex has duplexes where they have 2 apartments side by side. But we were in the 1-bedroom triplex, and he's basically in the middle. Apartments like A, B, C, he's B, in the middle between A and C. Nice 1-bedroom apartment, but larger in the apartment I have moved into, which is a HUD apartment, going by my income, and it's very tiny. My little apartment can be fit into his apartment twice. We could double this apartment and make 2 apartments and put it into his one-bedroom apartment. Plus, he has a large backyard. So I felt we were mutually helping. He's helping me in the only way he can, pay me to work some hours and allow me storage space free. And the hammock chair, I was able to assemble or reassemble and put up so he can enjoy under the umbrella sometimes. And I can go over there sometimes. Last night I went over and actually enjoyed sitting under the umbrella when the sun went down, and I could enjoy the solar lights. He sits out there during daylight hours and enjoys. And during daylight hours, I'm mostly too busy to sit out there and enjoy. I would love to start a habit of starting my day before sunrise, sitting out there drinking tea or coffee and praying and meditating. That would be wonderful. And that may actually now come about because June 25th, he received notice that his lease was not going to be renewed. He and I had moved into that apartment in 2021, almost 4 years ago. He's been never been late, been a good tenant. We were good tenants. I left him last year. He's been, again, he has his rent coming out automatically, so he's never late. It comes out of his checking account or whatever. He has signed up for that automatic payment situation. But the notice basically was saying his lease was not going to be renewed after all, which was scheduled to be renewed July 31st, because they have to do some major remodeling and whatnot in the apartment. And the apartments must be empty when this work is done. It's required. And they don't know how long it's going to take. And he and I both were somewhat, we saw that. We were confused with this email that was sent to him, I guess on the 24th, and then the next day on the 25th, it had been printed out and taped to the door. And I happened to be there that morning. Now, I had been working in the yard while he was still in bed. I'd been out working in the yard on the umbrella, securing it and all that. So as I was leaving, I saw the note taped to the door, and I looked around. I thought, oh, they didn't ring the bell. Well, she being the manager for that complex, knows he's usually sleep early. He doesn't get up early. His breakfast time is usually 11 a.m. to noon. He gets up, his ritual is get up, take some medication that he has to take on an empty stomach, and lay back down for about an hour. He might do that at 5 and lay back down, take that medication, and like I said, lay down. And he may not actually get up after that, get on his power plate, do his little workout, shower, dress, clean, whatever, and then start his breakfast until after 11 a.m. So I saw that note. I read it, and he had said he wanted to talk to me about something, and so I sent him a text when I got back home and said, is this what you wanted to talk to me about? I had sent him a copy. I took a picture of the note that was stuck on the door, taped to the door, and I noticed apartment C also had a piece of paper taped to his door. There's a gentleman that lives there that still works. Everyone else mostly is retired, but he still works every day, and he was at work. And apartment A did not have a note, but apartment A was in the process of being emptied at that moment anyway, because the tenant who had been there for many years, he was like vetted, I would say vetted, he was there the longest. He was actually moving to the only empty apartment I knew of, which is in the duplex next door, one of the 2 bedrooms. So he was upgrading. He was going from a 1 bedroom to a 2 bedroom with he has 2 or 3 dogs and some cats now, and he's retired. So anyway, again, my ex said, yeah, that's what I had wanted to talk to you about. And it was I got the email, and so we were kind of confused. Is this saying he's got to move temporarily? He can come back, so I called just to get clarification, and she was nice enough, she being the manager, to call me back and say it's nothing personal. He has to move out because we don't know how long it would take to do the she said, only thing I can tell you, I can't give you all the details, but I can tell you we got to do some remediation and major plumbing repairs and other work. And again, we don't know how long it will take to do all that, but the apartments must be empty when the work is done, and we have nowhere else to put him. So he's got to move, and we're giving the extra 30 days. So she sent the email to him June 25th and letting him know he had until August 31st to move out. Now, he's 98 years old, a retired veteran, retired professor from, what is it, Southern University in Houston, whatever the name of that university is. I'm not a Houston aficionado at all. I never lived there. But anyway, I was almost going into a panic, like, oh wow, I'm in a HUD apartment, which had actually just been reviewed for my yearly review to say, I'm still eligible for this type of apartment, which is like subsidized, almost like a Section 8. They go by my income, and they increase my rent $8, my part, and not bad at all. So the review done on my yearly review had just been completed, so I'm okay. I'm safe in this apartment. It's very claustrophobic, becoming increasingly so, and very uncomfortable. And there have been some other elements in the complex that have been extremely disturbing. I'll just put it that way, and triggering for my PTSD. That really caused me challenges to be living here. I'm not comfortable living here, or happy living here totally at all. But anyway, ironically, I have just let go of the major ongoing DIY project I've been working on, my container. At the time this happened, I'm working on now looking for an apartment. I told him I would be willing to move back in with him as his live-in roommate slash caregiver slash friend, if we could find a large enough apartment. And I'll just give up the HUD apartment. If we could find something with 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, so we each have our space. I have my spatial issues, y'all. And hopefully, if we could find something like that in time to meet this deadline he's under, hallelujah. So I looked for apartments. I basically requested to put him on some waiting list, because all the apartments I found that he could afford, I'm like, what you pay for rent, almost $1,300 a month, maybe for that amount or a little more, we could find a larger apartment. And maybe then it hit me, maybe buy, he's a vet, maybe get a VA loan. So anyway, I started looking at both options to see if he could get pre-approved for a loan, see if we could look for a house and or find an apartment. And again, all the apartments that I found that he can afford, we could afford, with the right size, 2 bedrooms and 2 baths, they have long waiting lists. So I'm like, oh Lord, like I said, I was feeling pressure, stress, and then boom, next couple of weeks, 4th of July, and we have this major catastrophic, oh my God, loss of property for people, loss of lives for people, loss of loved ones. Some people not far from us have lost everything, including loved ones. And they're oh my gosh. So here I am feeling all this stress and pressure that I think, I'm under. And then boom, all around me, others are hit with even more. And I would say worse and or more severe PTSD that I've been living with. Some of them have that, oh my God, 100-fold. So that's kind of one reason I've not been able to really consistently post, guys. I just can't consistently post right now until hopefully we're working out a close. We're hoping to close on this property by the end of this month, and we close and get the keys, then I can take a deep breath of a sigh of relief, and start setting up I'm already helping him like with packing, getting boxes. So that's basically, I'm feeling like, okay, I'm moving 2 addresses into one. This address, I'm in my little HUD apartment, and the apartment he's been in since I found it 2021. What was that? July 2021 about. So thank you all again who are already aware of this. And I didn't start off, I forgot to say welcome or welcome back. Welcome back, those of you who know what's going on. Thank you so much for your prayers. your good energy. You're supporting my channel by watching when I do post and commenting, and most of all, again, praying and sending good energy. Thank you so much. And if it's your first time, welcome. Hopefully, I'll soon, well, in due time, as God permits, I'll be able to get onto a more consistent posting schedule, so to speak, of life. My life, basically, I guess what my channel is mostly like a vlog, a video log of my life, and life around me. And hopefully it'll be much more increasingly positive soon. I want to say soon being within the next 90 days. It'll start to get better and better and better. And it is positive in the sense that being surrounded by so much heartache and heartbreak, and I'm feeling it too. I'm not just surrounded by it. I'm experiencing it, even though I didn't have a personal member of my family, a close friend, swept away in the waters, or their lives swept away, their houses swept away. I lived in Hunt in the past. I know the area. I attended Hunt Methodist Church, Hunt United Methodist Church for a while. I took care of the nursery at that little church. Thank God they're okay. They weren't devastated, but their neighborhood, their community was. I used to be able to walk to the Hunt store, the Hunt post office. I lived in that vicinity, like I said, and I actually lived through a 4th of July flood in Hunt in 1998. So some of it is deja vu in a way and reminiscent of that period. But this one, 2025, was worse. The one in 98 did wreck the post office a bit, and the Hunt store had to be basically remodeled and rebuilt. But this time, the post office was wiped off the earth, and so many lives were lost. Children, babies, 6, 7-year-old, and babies younger than that were lost. I want to believe, of course, they didn't suffer too much, and they passed before their bodies were, which is a temporary, I know, housing of the spirit. Their spirit and souls hopefully just went right into the arms of Jesus. I want to believe that. I can't help but all of us who have any ounce of compassion, all of us who are just not so self-absorbed, narcissistic to a point of being like a psychopath, sociopath, or whatever, where we can't feel for others, all of us who have the capacity to empathize at least any little bit are, of course, affected, hurt, disturbed, grieving, especially children. Yes, they're innocent, and hopefully they quickly were taken into loving arms of our loving Creator, our Father God, our brother Jesus, the Holy Spirit. But in this dimension, we still grieve, we still hurt. Those of us who weren't directly touched are so cognizant and aware that it could have been us. It could have been our babies, grandbabies, in my case, great-grandbabies even. And we're so grateful that it wasn't, but at the same time, we're hurting. For those that it was, we feel a part of community-wise. My neighbor's baby is my baby spiritually. My neighbor's grandbaby and great-grandbaby spiritually is my baby. It takes a village to raise a child, to love a child, to nurture a child, to guide a child, to teach a child, to love a child. We lost a bunch of children of this community. So thank you all for praying and encouraging and donating everything you're doing. Thank you. Thank you for continuing to pray for me and my family and situation and me and my community at large. Thank you so much. I love all of you. I love YouTube. I love YouTubers, especially small YouTubers. I'm happy for YouTubers who were small and they've grown and they've succeeded and they've elevated to a point where they're helping and teaching and generously sharing with others to help them grow their channels. Our world, it's not just here, of course, our entire world is spots. Some spots are being traumatized, is I guess the word I'm looking for, more often and or deeply than others. So as a world community at large, in some way or another, we're all hurting. We're all challenged. We're all struggling in some ways or others. I'm constantly praying. I love everyone. I don't like a lot of things I see, of course, behaviors, but I love people, even people who seem, they don't care or whatever, they're wrapped up in. I love them. I may not like their behaviors, their personalities. I may dislike them so much and hate their behaviors so much that I just want to not be around. I don't want that toxic. I can't. But in my heart, I said, Lord, please help me extend love to them. Pray for them, for the best for them. Pray for them to come to know and somehow become in touch with the fact that they need to work on something. Help me to continue to work on me, work on improving myself, my attitude, my heart, my spirit. I'm definitely not perfect. I definitely fall short, and I know this. Help me to remain aware of this. Help me to never get to a point where I think like I've arrived or something, and like I don't need any more, improvement. I know I'm a work of perfection in progress. I like to think we all are in progress. Works of perfection. We're imperfect now in this dimension, this level, but we're working towards becoming perfected in the image of our Creator. Again, I'm sorry, I'm kind of going off on a tangent. Thank you. I love you all. Y'all stay safe. Stay blessed. Blessings. Hope to see you in the next video, whenever that is. And I'll be back, God willing. Over and out for now.